welcome to Top Gun Maverick 2022. As you see the same copy-paste message again like in the first Top Gun movie. Now the same Kenny Loggins song playing and similar intro like the first Top Gun movie. Now fast forward to the Mojave Desert, California, as we see the hero of the movie once again, Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell, played by Tom Cruise, 40 years later, or almost 40 years later, wearing the exact same outfit from 1986. We also see all the past pictures with Nick Bradshaw, or also known as Goose, including pictures of Junior Bradshaw, Bradley Bradshaw, how creative of a name, but you'll see him soon. And even wears a jacket from Top Gun Days 2, like I said, the exact same jacket, and has his Mach 9 scheduled for today, and rides the same motorcycle from the original movie. And this time directed by Joseph Kosinski, since Tony Scott died maybe in 2012. And then now makes it here as he meets up with Coleman, played by Bashir Salahuddin, and is here to tell Maverick that the Top Gun school is getting rid of the fighter jet program here. Pete Maverick Mitchell was supposed to present the Mach 9 jet, which is a prototype for an upcoming mission. So Coleman says that Admiral Kane wants the money for this Top Gun program for something else. So Maverick proceeds with the Mach 10 testing. Like I said, it's the maximum amount of speed a fighter jet can go to reach its goals. It's not hard, it's not rocket science. If you pay attention, you know exactly what I mean. Now has his Ivan Drago-like training session before boarding the Mach 10. Like I said, it's the full maximum speed the fighter jet can go to.
I don't like that look, man. It's the only one I got.
Take off with everyone at Command Center all ready to go. And Admiral Kane has also arrived in his limo. And now we see Tom Cruise in his 2001 Space Odyssey-like shot here. If you've seen that movie, Stanley Kubrick, from 1967, something like that. Now the jet has taken off, or also known as the Dark Star, as Admiral Kane sees it taking off. So Mach 10, we all know, is the maximum speed of the jet that Maverick is slowly reaching to for the upcoming mission much later in the movie, as Admiral Kane has barged in to watch everything. And the Mach speed of the jet is slowly increasing as Maverick is getting to Mach 10. And now Maverick is feeling cocky and now increases speed even more to Mach 10.1 and all the way to Mach 10.4, and the jet just falls apart, and now this.
Where am I?
So the rescue helicopter has Maverick now safely and is now back at the Navy Command Center as Admiral Kane here, played by Ed Harris, known actor, looks over Pete Maverick Mitchell's flying records. So Maverick doesn't want to retire and doesn't want a promotion either, since he survived all of his risky business. See what I did there? And his time as a jet pilot, or Top Gun instructor pilot, and that Maverick should have been an admiral right now too, just like his friend Tom Kazansky, who you will meet soon. But he chooses to remain in his comfortable position since
one day, sooner than later, they won't need pilots at all. The future is coming, and you're not in it.
And he knows AI is going to hurt everyone here. AI is going to take over the world sooner or later, including Maverick's job. So Admiral Kane wants Maverick to head down to North Island, which is where Top Gun Flying School is located at, as Maverick pretends not to look excited.
You've been called back to Top Gun. Sir, you are dismissed, Captain.
And now to San Diego, California, as we see this fighter town here. And now the same way Maverick is riding his motorcycle on the runway, just like his younger self in 1986. And now inside Top Gun school, as he first notices him and Iceman in this picture, or Iceman is the Admiral of the Navy here. Now inside the presentation room, as we see Don Draper himself. From Mad Men, Admiral Bo Simpson, played by John Hamm, and Admiral Bates, played by Charles Parnell. And they are here to present Maverick the mission for this movie, which includes all of the geographical, technical stuff. I mean, too hard for me to explain it. I mean, I was never Navy SEAL, and never was. So to dumb it down for you, for all you non-Navy SEAL viewers, they use the fighter jets to protect that region shown in the digital presentation, and that's all.
Teach, sir?
But Simpson here tells Maverick he's not the one going to be flying it, since he will be the one teaching it this method of flying at Top Gun school for the modern day Navy SEALs, or Top Gun students. You know, replacing Charlotte Blackwood's job from the original Top Gun movie. You know, Cosine Charlie, if you've seen the first movie. If you haven't, check out my previous video. And even notice that Bradley Bradshaw there, or also known as Rooster, you know, just like his dad, called Goose. And something hard to admit for Simpson to tell Maverick that the only way he got the job to teach here as an instructor is solely from the recommendation of Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky.
You fly for Top Gun, or you don't fly for the Navy ever again.
I told you. Just like Commander Mike Metcalf from the original Top Gun movie. So Maverick is back at the same bar 36 years later, as he sees the millennial Navy SEALs of today, you know, late 80s, early 90s born guys, and is now texting Iceman Kazansky about Rooster Bradshaw. And now meets the owner and bartender of the place, well, you know, the same bar, but new owner, Penny, played by Jennifer Connelly, who we never really saw in the original Top Gun. There was no one named Penny in that movie, but after doing some Googling, she's newly written in. There was no Penny in the first Top Gun movie ever. Never has been. Just a random love interest from the past for Pete Maverick Mitchell. Now some personal issues between the two, love interest and all that, since he's been in the Navy for so long now. And now this.
Disrespect a lady, the Navy, or put your cell phone.
So that means Maverick has to buy drinks for everyone here at the bar after reading that wooden sign. And now we meet the rest of the Navy SEALs of today, one of them being Lieutenant Jake Hangman, played by Glenn Powell, trending actor in the last few years, especially with that movie that came out, the rom-com, what's it called, Anyone But You. I mean, even some movies from 2016. And we also meet Phoenix, played by Monica Barbero. She's in Fubar, you know the Netflix show, which came out in 2023. Arnold Schwarzenegger, haven't seen it since the third episode. And we also meet Coyote, played by Greg Davis, and Fanboy, played by Danny Ramirez, and the one at the back, played by Jay Ellis, called Payback. So yeah, creative names. And lastly we meet Bob, played by Lewis Pullman, you know, Bill Pullman's son, the 90s movie actor. And Bob has no nickname, this goes by Bob.
No, your call sign. Bob.
And Hangman wants another drink, and here comes the Junior Bradshaw, Bradley Bradshaw, or also known as Rooster, played by Miles Teller, another popular actor since the mid-2010s. We've seen Black Swan, I think he's in that movie. And then, Superbad, pretty sure he's also in that too. I've never seen either of them. Now Bradshaw and Hangman talk to each other, and clearly these two hate each other. Kind of like Maverick and Tom Kazansky in the original, but those two were never really hate each other that much. But Hangman hates Rooster more.
I love this song.
Now Rooster unplugs the music box and now sings the same song, just like Nick Goose Bradshaw from the original. Since Maverick can't pay for the drinks, she rings a bell, having him thrown out the place instead. And these new SEALs don't know that they just threw out their new flying teacher for tomorrow morning.
I'm afraid rules are rules, Pete.
Thanks for the beers. Come back anytime.
And Maverick notices Goose's old song being played, redubbed, reinvented for the 2020s, and has this flashback of Nick Goose Bradshaw from 1986 singing the exact same thing, but like I said, Nick Goose's version is outdated. Now walks out, and now the next morning's class time as the Navy SEALs are right now of today, and they already have graduated as Admiral Bates here makes an introduction for the new instructor for flying.
And he's considered to be one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced. I give you Captain Pete Mitchell. Call sign, Maverick.
And one student will become the upcoming mission leader for later, and now every student is embarrassed except Rooster Bradshaw. So he throws away the instruction manual since they know what's in it, and Maverick has his own way of teaching since he doesn't, you know how Pete Maverick Mitchell is from the original. He doesn't go by the rules. He has his own rules. And now runs after Bradshaw. I guess Maverick did something to him, and Hangman notices as well. So the students are learning with Maverick as they fly now, and Payback here coughs up a challenge that the loser does get shot down has to do 200 push-ups afterwards. So Rooster gets shot down and has to do the 200 push-up challenge.
That's a kill.
And back to more shooting, and the remaining students are just flying around waiting for Maverick, and now more push-ups made by the other students.
That's a kill. All fun and games, that selfie, wasn't it? Damn!
Say, Phoenix, now how's about we tell everybody Bob stands for something?
79. Damn! 80. Yeah, let's go. Who's next?
Now Hangman decides to make this matter more personal as Maverick challenged the Rooster in this sense. He believes that Goose was killed because of Maverick. Now he lost, and now it's turn to do push-ups as Coleman gives up counting, and now Phoenix tells him that she doesn't want him to get kicked out of the mission.
Rooster, that's enough, man.
And wanting to be alone with Hangman since he is a pain in the ass, Glenn Powell in this movie. So Rooster says that Maverick took out his papers, since Goose died because of Maverick and doesn't want to see Rooster die too. Doesn't want to see another Bradshaw die, on the job. So back with Simpson and Bates as Don Draper yells at Maverick for pulling those stunts with the students and to teach them quicker. Another 3 weeks for the upcoming mission, and we leave it off there.
It look familiar to you?
What have we here?
So the next scene, Hangman and Coyote go and see some old pictures and even notice the strong resemblance between Rooster and Goose from the picture. So Maverick pets a dog, probably the same dog from Top Gun. I don't remember seeing a dog in that movie. So Maverick also sees Penny's daughter, Amelia, and he's really here to pay the amount for all those drinks he was forced to buy the other night. And now Penny needs some help sailing her boat, but Maverick offers to help her instead. And now drops Penny at home, now back to Top Gun school with more lessons. Now a specific lesson trying to get to the enemy swiftly is to fly under the enemy jet. And now for the demonstration as Maverick teaches the students exactly what to do for the mission and is now disappointed. Phoenix and Payback, and now back to flying.
Time is your greatest enemy.
Not even him. That's no time to be thinking about the past.
What's that supposed to mean, Rooster? That's enough.
That Maverick was flying with his old man.
Lieutenant, that's enough.
And with Lieutenant Hangman being cocky as usual, and the head SEAL here now takes things personal with Rooster here, but about Goose. So after all that, it's night as Maverick now gets a message from Iceman that he wants to see him. And so he does at his mansion in California, and so says hi to Mrs. Kazansky here, that Tom Kazansky can't speak because of his throat. And we do know in real life Val Kilmer does have throat cancer since 2014. Yeah, I googled that right after the first video I've done on the original Top Gun. And now we finally meet Tom Kazansky himself, 36 years later, played by Val Kilmer, again, who died a few months ago. And Val Kilmer can't really speak at all anymore because of, like I said, throat cancer.
Please, don't worry about me.
But he types on the computer instead to make Maverick understand him, so he wants to talk about work. as Maverick tells him that he's scared to send Rooster, thinking that he will end up like Goose from 1986 and would rather Maverick take his place. And Iceman even speaks here too to make it more meaningful.
Who's the better pilot? You or me? Who's the best pilot? No, I think I can figure that one out on my own.
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
Now the same kind of scene where Maverick is enjoying some beach time with the Top Gun graduates of today, including modern day song of today to make it more 2020-ish. I forget the name of the song. I've listened to him, a bunch of times. So here comes Don Draper again, since he was looking for Maverick and the Top Gun students, and looks pissed off here that they are having fun. And even tells Don Draper that's the team for the mission right there.
There's your team.
So Maverick takes Penny back home exactly the same way like Kelly McGillis from the original, and yes, the not so graphic sex scene, same way like the original. Now Maverick admits that he pulled out Rooster's papers from the naval office, fearing that he might end up like Nick Goose Bradshaw, getting killed from the original, since Mrs. Bradshaw or Meg Ryan told Maverick to make sure Rooster doesn't end up being a Navy fighter jet pilot, but still became one, and to make sure he is ready. And Amelia knew Maverick was up there. So next morning we see Admiral Bates again to present some information on the mission about the transference of raw uranium to avoid radiation spreading. And now Maverick steps in about the flying portion of the mission and shows him the exact parts of the mission, and even the most impossible part where they have to fly while experiencing the most amount of pain as the main Top Gun graduates participate. Some more flying lessons, and these guys are taking it seriously now, especially when the mission has been extended for another week. And Coyote has lost control since he passed out after doing what Maverick told him to during the class, and right on time. Now Phoenix and Bob's jet has lost one engine and have now ejected their seats, and the two are now in the hospital. So Phoenix and Bob are even these two are worried. Maverick and Rooster, and now a personal matter about his Navy papers being pulled out from the office.
Why did you stand in my way?
Maverick.
And now this with Admiral Bates. So Tom Iceman Kazansky has died, as I make this video knowing that Val Kilmer in real life has also died. So they are at Kazansky's funeral and slaps his wings on the coffin, looking like the Under Siege ending, if you've seen that movie. And Admiral Simpson has Maverick in his office now telling him that he should just quit, and that he will take over Top Gun school flying training from here, since Maverick is a terrible teacher according to him, or in the opinion of Don Draper.
That this mission can be flown.
And all you've managed to do is teach them that it can't.
Now goes to see Penny and says he just ended here and stopped teaching. So Don Draper is now teaching the class from now on, and the Top Gun students here are just disgusted that Don Draper is the one teaching here, and rather have Maverick teaching it.
Not to exceed 420 knots.
Sir, won't we be giving their planes time to intercept?
And now have their faces lit up after hearing Maverick's voice on the training ground flying, and he just turning side to side to avoid the problem which happened to Phoenix and Bob. That's probably the problem why they end up in the hospital. And now he did it.
Maverick, range control. Green range is confirmed. I don't see
it. So back inside Don Draper's office, as he is pissed off that he stole the jet for the stunt he pulled, and that Iceman is not here to protect him this time. Tom Kazansky. And either risk his job or appoint Maverick as team leader for this mission. So next scene back at the bar with Maverick in his Navy uniform with everyone enjoying around, and now back to becoming the teacher for the flying portion of the school, and now chooses teams, pretty obvious here, and his wingman Rooster. And Hangman here is pissed off that he wasn't chosen for anything.
You're where you belong. Reserve role that's required. Dismissed.
And more footage of the mission preparation with Bates teaching more technical stuff, and even Hangman motivating Rooster, and also Maverick, and says goodbye to Coleman in case we were to die on the job. And now on to the mission as everyone is flying, and now the Tomahawks have also been launched and now closing in more and have destroyed the enemy runway and continue with the mission. And now with the most stressful part by pulling the jet to get over the mountain and bullseye.
I don't like that look, man.
It's the only one I got.
Now a bunch of missiles just flying around, and now one of the jets have been shot down. The jet with Maverick inside it, and now have to look for him as Rooster is crying that Maverick has disappeared, and now a black screen. And as we see Maverick pass out on the ground in the snow, and now the enemy has spotted Maverick with the helicopter and keeps on firing at him. Rooster has spotted Maverick, and now Rooster gets shot down too. As Tom Cruise here does his famous run, he finally spots Rooster as he pushes him down, something were to happen to him. And their only choice is steal a jet from the army base there that's already on fire. Now the two run down and have the settings adjusted inside the jet shelter and here. And now the two are ready for liftoff and are out on the runway, and the movie is almost over.
This is a taxiway, not a runway. This is a very short taxi.
And this is probably the biggest jet that Maverick has ever flown in his life. Both admirals are stunned that Maverick is still alive after hearing that Maverick is the only one who could do this. The stunt. And now more enemy jets at the back of these two, and are now communicating with Maverick, and they have no idea what's going to happen next. And now Rooster motivates Maverick with this.
Don't think. Just do.
And now dodging every enemy flying jet as Rooster shoots the missiles on time. And now one more jet to go since the other two jets are blown down, and Maverick and Rooster are saved just in time by someone you wouldn't expect to seek help from.
This is your savior speaking. Please fasten your seatbelts, return your tray tables to their...
And of course it's Hangman. And now have landed on the submarine runway, and now everyone is cheering and gets some teary moments from both the audiences who watched the movie the first time in 2022 in the movie theaters and the Top Gun students as well. Now Maverick looks for Penny at the bar, and this guy working here tells him she went on a sailing trip with Amelia, as Penny and Amelia have made it to the hangar with Maverick and Rooster fixing up the place. That's it. Top Gun Maverick from 2022, and in memory of Tony Scott, the director of the first Top Gun movie. And the credits continue for the next 7 minutes, and this movie came out at the perfect time in 2022, bringing back the cinematic experience of the movie, classic movie. I don't think there will be another Top Gun movie anytime soon, but this movie made over $2 billion worldwide, or nationwide, in sales. And that's all from me. See you next time. Creed from 2016. Slowly going to the modern movies now. But like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. Take care. See you soon, and watch away and check out the original Top Gun since you've already seen this.